because this thing died. If the zoom changes a lot, I'm very sorry.
Hej! Hej, kan jag få komma och titta på er? Åh, vad ni är fina! Hej! Halloj! Halloj! Åh! Jag har kompisar där borta. Ja. Hej, men jag vet inte.
Hey everyone, it's Doodle and I scribble, and I am currently filming on my iPhone because this thing died. I've had it for 6 years. I've filmed many hours of footage with it, so I am surprised it lasted as long as it has, and I'm probably falling out of frame here. But it did. I was filming a doodle vlog on Friday, finished off the day, started it up on Saturday, and it just would not... nothing. It turns on, the screen is dead, it doesn't register anything. I can't hook it up to the computer to empty it, so I've pulled the SD card from it, and hopefully I can plug it in my mom's laptop and pull out whatever footage there was, unless it's corrupted. It has been acting strange for like the past month or so, so I was getting a bit worried, and finally it just crapped out. So I am a happy camper. Not really. So, camera died. My window's open, sorry. Motivation also died, and creativity died because it was such sucky timing, and I may have spent 20 hours playing Stardew Valley this weekend, but yeah. I am going to make a Matoki necklace today because I got an order on Etsy and I need to fill it. Speaking of Etsy, I have put up a lot of my originals on Etsy, so if you'd like to help me sort out the camera situation, I'd really appreciate it. It's a lot of my Inktober drawings from last year, because I really need to empty out my stash, and they're gonna be fairly low priced for originals, because I just want to get rid of them and regain some money. I know what camera I want, I just need to click the buy button, but it's a huge chunk out of savings that I was going to use for a new tattoo, and it just fucking sucks. I'm sorry. I'm not really sure what to do about my Bokuran no Monogatari zine project either, because that is a traditional project, and filming with my iPhone it's not ideal, because I don't have a lot of space on it because I stuff so much other things into it. I use it for many other things like references and music and stuff like that when I work, so it's not ideal, and it's really hard for me to set it up properly to get good filming angles and whatnot. There's nothing wrong with the video quality, but the quality of like the content, I feel like it doesn't really match up. I have used it in the past for some close-up shots on some Steven Universe fan art last year, I think, so it films well. I just don't like the way it's set up. I'm really happy that I got a lot of these mounts for iPhones. I'm using one of these things. Let's see. This thing here is what I'm hooking it up to now. I bought like 3 because they were cheap and I was afraid I was going to get like 2 broken. So I bought a pack of 3, but they were really good quality. So it's just like one of these hinge things and you squeeze your phone in there. So that is what I have it on my other tripod as well. But yeah, I'm going to get to work. Okay. So this is going to be a quick one. Sometimes I bring out the hairdryer to get it going a bit better. I have no circulation in my hands, so I just don't generate enough heat. Like doing this, I'm actually going to close my window. Doing this in summer is pretty okay because it's hot, so the clay stays soft. But doing it in the winter or in general when it's not warm is difficult for me because my hands are very, very cold. Now it's fairly soft. And I'm using the dumbest surface too. This is glass. And glass doesn't really retain heat either. So like, but I like working on it because the clay doesn't stick. So when making anything, it's still very, yeah, you can see it's so flaky because it's older and cold. Actually, the cold makes it more like this than anything else. It does get stiffer as it gets older, but it doesn't really affect the quality other than that it's difficult to work with. At least not what I've noticed. There, that's thin enough. So, put the mask on, get my little X-Acto knife, and then I'm going to cut the mask out. Oh, it is so stiff today. I might actually need to rework this. I was too eager. And then I cut these strips because I need them to line the edge. If you look at the other mattokis, you'll be able to see that. So when the mask is done, this one is still pretty thick, so I'm just going to squeeze it a bit with my fingers and get it flatter. It'll also reheat it a bit so it doesn't crack too much when I press it down. Can you see what I'm doing? Oh yeah. I'm sorry if the filmography or whatever it's called is hugely disappointing in this, but I have no idea how to film with an iPhone properly. Since I don't have a flip screen or anything like that, I have to perk up to see what I'm doing. So I line it up. Let's put it a bit down there. And I press it down. And the surface of baked Fimo is pretty porous, so you don't have to worry about these things falling off. And the clay grips really well. Oh, it's split. Yeah, you can see it's still pretty stiff. What I'm trying to do when I do this is I just try to get both sides even. You see it's pretty ugly in the middle. The tools I'm using are actually nail art tools, or they were sold as nail art tools. I'm pretty sure you can use them for whatever you want, but they were sold as nail art tools, and I like them. They're really good for what I do. I need something with a little bit more edge, though. See, I fiddle around with this. Depends on how well I put it down. Sometimes I can just put it down and be done. Other times I have to reshape it a little to get it to look good. Now there's a giant black hair in the middle of that. But once this is baked, I'm going to rub it with nail polish remover. This one, it's acetone free. But what it does is that it sort of it removes the top layer. Sorry, I'm breathing on the clay to make it not break up on me. But it breaks up the top layer, and you can sort of bring up a fresh layer of clay to make it easier when you cover it up later. There we go. That's probably the good thing about these being thin pieces, is that you can easily heat them up. So I press this down, and because it's going to be painted, I don't really worry about any stark contrast. I'm just trying to even out the difference as much as possible. And I like using my fingers because I feel like I have better control when I do that. So I usually try to mold it the way I want it to look before I cut off the excess, just to make sure it's smooth and even. And sometimes I need to look up really close, so I make sure I don't have a gap, or if it's just a piece of dirt. There we go. You see, probably, oh, I'm sorry about the angle. There's a tiny, no, it actually, well, there's a tiny, tiny line, more visible over here, where I joined the pieces up. So I take my knife again, and pull off the excess. I usually start up here, just to get a clean edge, and then I look at it from the front. Usually try to flatten out the sides as much as possible. And because I added a new piece, I kind of pulled the edges, but let's see. And because it's, I was going to say wet on dry, but you understand what I mean. Because it's wet clay on dry clay, it's really easy to clean up because it doesn't stick the same way it would do if it was completely wet clay. There we go. And then I take off the excess back here. I usually have to do the back a few times depending on how thick this lip got. So I'm going to do this edge a little bit more. And just clean it off. And then I usually check the sides again, make sure they're even. That one looks good. Just so it doesn't have too many bumps or anything like that. Other than that, I'm usually okay with it. Okay, so that, hold on. There's like a tiny pip here that makes it look weird. Okay, that's done. I'm gonna stick this in the oven now, once I've stopped fiddling with it. It got very jaggedy here. And it's gonna be in the oven at, did I, no, it looks good. It's gonna be in the oven at 110 degrees Celsius for 15 minutes, and that will bake the mask. And then I'm gonna come back and then I'm gonna paint this. Okie doke. It is now completely done. Wow. Words. And now I'm gonna first rub it down with some, I was gonna say rubbing alcohol, but I don't have that. I have nail polish remover. So I'm gonna do all the black stuff first. The thing this also does is that it makes the surface porous and lets me paint on it easier, because that is the one thing that is different between the Posca pens and the actual acrylic paints, is that the Posca pens are a little more watery, so they don't stick as well to the surface as the acrylic paints do. And I'm gonna take, oh, the worst part about this is that it smells so bad. I'm just gonna see if I can get a close-up here for you guys so you can see. You see it's pretty dirty. It's still gonna get painted entirely, but if I go like this and clean it off, you see that big dust thing that was in the center of the mask got rubbed off. Now there's still going to be a line down here because of the color differences, but I can get a lot of the dust specks out and clean up the surface like this. I'm sorry, I am out of frame again. Again, with the lens being at the top rather than at the, or at the side rather than in the center, I'm not really used to that, so I keep messing up. There we go. I think that's going to be good enough. And I'm not painting the back, so I don't need to rub that down. I'm going to go ahead and use this on the mask. I'm not really sure if I should zoom in on this thing because I know zooming on these... Oh wow, it is so bad it is actually leaking through the paper. Okay, let's just take that up and put both of these in the trash so we don't ruin anything. I should have worn a different shirt. I have a new shirt on and I'm so terrified of getting Costco on it. Okay. So what I do is, if I'm in frame, I just give it an even coat. Now, if I hadn't done the acetone, it's not actually acetone, but I'll call it that. If I hadn't done that beforehand, the Posca marker would just pool and get really streaky. But because I added that texture, it gave it some grip. I'm gonna leave that to dry. Dry. I think I'm gonna go ahead and put down the guides for the eyes. And what I do is I basically just line this up, kick him out those eyes, touch the base of his mask. So I sort of tend to line it up kind of like that. It's a little bit off center. Like that. Hold it down with a nail. Scratch in the general shape. At this point, this is more a guide than law, if I say so, because the eyes I've done enough to. Yeah, you see, it wasn't quite dry, so I got some on my finger. But yeah. Ooh, this thing, I nearly shoved it in my own eye. Oh, that's wonderful. The good thing about using lead or a pencil is that you can remove it using nail polish remover if you need to. I don't think I need to with this one. I did get some outside the line, but as you can see, there's this little seam there, and I think I'm going to cover the stuff I got on the outside with the gray, so it's okay. Since I put my finger there, I might actually have to put down a second layer. There is some kind of junk on it, I think. Let's see. Let's see if we can just dot in. Let's do one more layer. It's not gonna hurt anybody. Oh yeah, I think it was because it had been stored on the side that it leaked the way it did, because it is fine now and it's been standing upright for a little bit. That's good to know. Note to self. Stand them on their end for a while before using them to make sure you don't get an explosion of ink on your paper. I'm just trying to be careful not to go over the same area too many times. Okay, now I'm gonna let that dry. I don't think you can see the pencil outline I made. I don't think it shows up too well. I can see it because of the light. Oh, there you can see. But yeah, I have a, wow, pencil outline for the eyes, and the mask is now dry. So I am gonna paint in the lines. Can you see those lines first? I used to put down guides as well, but I'm confident I can do this. This is sort of the handmade quality, because each one is going to be a little bit different because it's hand drawn, and I like that kind of thing. It's ridiculous how much better these pens work when you've used some some nail polish remover to rough up the surface. The best part about these pens too, if you should make a mistake, you can just wait for it to dry and then you can scrape it off either using your nail or a knife or something. You have to be careful with the knife though, because you can scratch the surface. He does have a bow tie, and that I usually mark in just to get it to look kind of even. Oh, that's good. And again, I'm sorry I keep stuffing my face with things, but that is the way I'm rolling today. It's a little bit crooked, but I'm gonna be okay with that. Oh, right, he has a seam on his mask too. I think it's a zipper, actually. But I never draw the zipper handle. There we go. And now I'm gonna wait for that to dry, then I'm gonna add the eyes. If the zoom changes a lot, I'm very sorry, but every time it resets, or every time the phone turns off, it resets the zoom, so I can't really do much about that. Okay. Now I'm gonna get the eyes, and I think we can zoom a little bit more. This one is a lot scratchier than the other one. Maybe I didn't shake it enough? Either way, this... Oh, well, maybe it's because it's white on black and not white on white like it was before. That's not a nice sound. That's not a nice sound at all. There we go. I'm gonna leave that and then I'm gonna paint it again. Okay. One last pass over the eyes, then I'm going to whatchamacallit, glaze it or varnish it to protect it. I feel like we need more paint. Okay, there we go. A little oddball, but that's the charm of something handmade. I'm also gonna do the where have I put the glue? Here. I'm gonna do the eye hook eyelet thing too, now that it needs to dry, because I need that glued before. So basically I just put them in when I bake them, but they don't stick. Oh, great. Now it's leaking glue. Okay, let's try that again. Oh my god, it's never been this hard. Oh, there's a little bump, but it's gonna get covered. I think it's actually, it was an air bubble. Okay. Oh, and this glue smells worse. Oh, such a waste. Such a waste. Put the cork back on. There we go. So now that's gonna sit there and dry. And I'll get back to you later. Time to varnish. I'm gonna throw that away. And where is my brush? Nowhere to be seen, apparently. But yeah, I do both sides, then I dry the back, and then I do the front. Oh, the top of the lamp doesn't block. Ooh, it blocks. Sorry. There we go. Let's do that for now. So I've noticed a thin layer of this gives the best result. I'm not too worried about the sides, it's mostly the front that is a bit worrisome with this. Okay, that's gonna lay there and dry. We'll get back to you. Okay, I'm gonna do one more layer on this little thing. Let's see, where am I? I need to be over here. And then I'll be done with this thing. And then it needs to dry again. And then it gets a chain and gets put into an envelope. And I do think I still have postage here somewhere. I'm gonna have to check my mailing supplies, but I'm pretty sure I still have postage stuff, which means I can just pop down to, oh god, I've been listening to a British Let's Player for like 3 days straight, so if I sound, or rather if my accent is weird and if I use strange words, that's why. I have a very generic English, well, more American English accent, I guess, but if I listen a lot to one type of English, like Australian or English, I tend to take on a few words, and the Let's Player I listen to says pop over and pop into and pop this and pop that a lot, so I just did that because I've heard him say it half a billion times. Okay, so this is... Okay, so my camera said no thank you because I was... I had filled the camera with too much footage. That's the thing too. That is, I think I mentioned it. The issue with me filming with my phone is that I generally have no space in it anyway because I have so many other things in it. So it's not ideal for me to use it to record, and because I had to empty it, this thing is actually dry now. So I can't put the chain on it. I'm not sure if I lost any footage because it didn't tell me. I was out of space, so I might have lost a few of the last minutes. So I'm just going to do a quick recap that I can edit in if that should have happened. This thing's lacquered twice now. It is dry. It is ready to be shipped. I have my bubble envelope, my customs declaration, stamps, and then I have these things. I'm gonna put this within. So first and foremost, I'm gonna go ahead and grab up some of my tools. I need my scissors. I'm gonna write my card first and foremost. Well, my phone just fucked me over. Because it saved a bunch of these things in the deleted folder, I didn't have enough room and I lost the footage where I packed this up. But basically, oh my goodness. I think you saw me write this and then it just stopped. Basically, I made a little booklet out of carton. I tucked the necklace inside a bubble wrap pouch and stuck it in there, wrote the name of the character and stuff on top. I did that in the past for myself because I would assembly line make them. Yeah, I'm just gonna stick the stamp, the priority sticker, and the customs declaration on here before I write the addresses because I can't really show you the addresses, or I'd rather not. I guess I'm okay with mine, but it's unnecessary. And you can't see what I'm doing, but I'm just writing what is in here. I've never experienced these things getting stuck in customs. I think it's because they're small enough, and they don't weigh a lot. Let's see, it's the 11th today, I think. I have to think about my month for a second. But yeah, where is this going? I mean, I haven't even checked where this is going. Maybe this is going to, yeah. If it's going inside of the EU. Not the European Union, not the, you just like perforate that and just put the small white piece. And I'm sorry that the cord for the charger is dangling in the view. But yeah, that is basically it. And then addresses on this and this thing inside, but I usually do that last so I can write on this more easily. I hate that this thing broke because I just sort of learned how to manipulate it in a way. Like, I had just started experimenting with manual focus and everything was so much brighter and prettier, and then it freaking crapped out and died on me and makes me so sad. Camera broke. Now I need to take down all of the lights. I can show you the setup, by the way, for... Oh, Jesus. Yes, because carrying half a kilo of stones in one hand is fabulously intelligent. And I need that one too. Okay, so when I film, usually it's just the blinds open if the weather's good. However, summer is over, so this is my setup. I have one of the lamps in my bed, and then the other one is sitting between the two desks, like that. And that is how I get my better lighting. It's not particularly good. I should probably turn out the lights in the ceiling to get proper exposure, because that is a yellow light, you notice that. But yeah, now I'm going to pack all of this down and hopefully oh wow, because it's not tilted anymore. I'm gonna get to the computer. I'm gonna edit up all the footage I have so far. Thank you so much for watching. Please do, if you haven't, take a moment to subscribe if you're new so you can see more fun art videos. Everyone else has been subscribed so far. Thank you so much. You can follow my social media. Links to those will be down below, as well as to my Etsy and my Redbubble store. Check those out if you'd... Sorry, drinking soda while filming is the dumbest thing ever. Until next time, keep on scribbling, friends. Bye!